Have you ever wondered how volcanoes work, why they erupt and spew out lava? Well, let's dive into it. Imagine a mountain, but not just any mountain. This one has a secret. Deep inside, it's filled with hot, molten rock called magma, and every now and then it can't keep its secret any longer. It bursts forth, sending out hot rocks, ashes, and gases from deep within the earth. This, my friends, is a volcano. Volcanoes are not like other mountains. They are nature's way of letting off steam, quite literally. When the pressure builds up inside the earth, it needs to be released, and volcanoes are one of the ways that happens. But sometimes when they explode, they can cause a lot of damage. So now you know, volcanoes are not just mountains, they are much more exciting and sometimes scary. Now you might be asking yourself, what's inside a volcano? How does it spit out hot rocks and gases? Well, let's dive in. Think of a volcano as a giant soda bottle. Just like the bottle, a volcano has three main parts: the magma chamber, the vent, and the crater. The magma chamber is like the bottom of the soda bottle where all the fizzy drink is stored. In a volcano, this is where the molten rock or magma is kept. The vent is like the neck of the bottle. It's the channel that connects the magma chamber to the outside world. And finally, the crater is like the bottle's opening, where everything comes out during an eruption. Just like shaking a soda bottle builds up pressure, causing the drink to burst out once open, the same thing happens in a volcano. The pressure from the magma builds up until it finds a way out through the vent and crater. So inside a volcano is like a giant pressure cooker waiting to release all that energy. So we've talked about what's inside a volcano, but why do they erupt? Well, let's dive right into it. You see, our Earth is like a giant jigsaw puzzle made up of huge pieces called plates. Sometimes these plates move, they slide past each other, and sometimes they collide. Now imagine rubbing two stones together. You'd feel heat, right? That's exactly what happens when Earth's plates rub together. This generates heat and melts the rocks deep inside the Earth, creating magma. But here's where it gets really interesting. This magma is less dense than the surrounding rocks, so it starts to rise, just like a bubble in a fizzy drink. As it rises, it collects in a chamber inside the volcano, building up pressure over time. Now think about what happens when you heat popcorn. It pops, right? Well, it's the same with volcanoes. When the pressure gets too much, just like a popcorn kernel, the volcano erupts. Just like popcorn pops when it gets too hot, volcanoes erupt when the pressure gets too much. Did you know there are different types of volcanoes? Let's take a journey through the fiery world of volcanoes and discover their various forms. First up, we have shield volcanoes. These are the giants of the volcano world, like Mauna Loa in Hawaii. They're called shield volcanoes because they're broad and low, much like a warrior's shield lying on the ground. These volcanoes ooze out lava slowly, building up their size over time. Next, we have cinder cone volcanoes. These are the smallest type, and they're known for their steep, bowl-shaped craters at the top. When these volcanoes erupt, they spew out chunks of rock and ash, which pile up around the vent, creating the classic cone shape we often associate with volcanoes. Lastly, we have composite volcanoes. As the name suggests, these are a mix of the other two types. They're built up from layers of both lava and ash, creating tall, imposing structures. So next time you see a picture of a volcano, see if you can guess what type it is. Now that you're a volcano expert, it's time for a fun quiz. Question 1. What's inside a volcano? Is it A, molten rock, B, ice cream, or C, fluffy clouds? If you said A, molten rock, you're right. That's what we call magma. Moving on to question 2. Why do volcanoes erupt? Is it because A, they're tired, B, they're full of magma that needs to escape, or C, they're just showing off? If you guessed B, they're full of magma that needs to escape, you're spot on. And now for our final question, question 3. Can you name one type of volcano? Is it A, shield, B, sword, or C, helmet? If you chose A, shield, you're absolutely correct. And that's it for our volcano quiz. How did you do? Remember, the more you learn about volcanoes, the more exciting they become.